Good evening. The death of a woman who fell from a motorway bridge should be a wake-up call for Southern Health. That's the view of a coroner at the inquest of Marion Munns from Southampton. The 74-year-old was under the care of the troubled NHS Trust. In a letter obtained by ITV News Meridian, the then Chief Executive Katrina Percy apologised and said the death was preventable. Sally Simmons reports.
The daughters of Marion Munns say she was a happily married, loving mother of two, grandmother of three.
Doting or quite strict?
She was doting to them, strict with us.
But today's inquest heard that in 2014 depression took hold of the former nurse. After hospital treatment, she was placed in the care of Southern Health. 1 year on, last November, Mrs Munns, in a manic, probably psychotic state, broke free from her husband and daughter, jumped out of a window, walked 2 miles in the dark and fell from a bridge over the M27.
Mum felt that I was there to gang up on her with my father, to have her sectioned. That's what she felt.
In his summing up at Winchester today, the coroner Graham Short said that no plan could have prevented the death of Marion Munns, but that it served as a wake-up call to the older person's mental health team whose care she was under. The coroner said Mrs Munns was in denial over her mental health, but accepted that Southern Health had no risk assessment in place or crisis strategy. On November the 12th, when Kim called in a panic, the court heard she was told the office was about to close to do her best and call 999 if worried.
Marion deserved more. She was always there for everyone else. But when Marion wanted something, it wasn't there, was it?
The only way to right this wrong is for a public inquiry. So this is taken out of their hands and the public get to hear exactly what has happened.
Southern Health apologised and accepted Marion's death could have been prevented in a letter in February. Today their statement says they've addressed concerns and made comprehensive changes across their older persons' mental health services. Sally Simmons, ITV News, Winchester.
In other news this evening, Brighton Museum was forced to close today after a suspected arson attack. The fire caused damage to the outside of the Grade 1 listed building. A 50-year-old man of no fixed address is being questioned by Sussex police. A Salisbury-based food bank charity says cuts to welfare benefits has led to more people using their service. A 4-year study into Trussell Trust data has found a direct link between benefits being taken away and the number of people being referred to them. The charity believes a system should be put in place before someone's benefits are withdrawn to give them a fair warning. The Chancellor of the Exchequer was at Southampton Docks today to reveal how the economy has performed since the EU referendum. Nationally, it grew by 0.5% between July and September. But the Chancellor is expecting growth to slow down while the government negotiates Brexit.
The consensus of economic forecasts is that we will see slower growth next year as we go through this period of uncertainty while we negotiate with the European Union. So we just have to plan and prepare for that. It's a period of a couple of years. When we get to the end of it, we will know exactly what our relationship with the European Union is going to look like in the future, and then British industry and British business, as it always does, will adjust to that new reality.
A multi-million-pound scheme has been unveiled to ease some of the region's most congested roads. Among the plans are improvements to the A27 from Lewes to Polegate, the M271 in Southampton and the M25 at Junction 10. Our transport correspondent Mike Pearce reports.
Congestion from bad to worse. At times it feels like it's quicker to walk. But Highways England say it does have a plan. Today, consultation got underway on the first of a number of schemes aimed at helping some of our key bottlenecks. M25 users say it's about time.
Oh, quite dreadful on a really bad day. You're just stuck in queue, moving at about 5 miles an hour and seemingly getting nowhere.
Took my wife to Gatwick this morning. Yeah, obviously at the junctions, that's where it all slows up, doesn't it? An Heathrow terminal, all the junctions basically.
I have to allow an hour and a half for my journeys, over 2 hours sometimes.
The A27 between Lewes and Polegate is notorious, so now £75 million will be spent on improvements, particularly at junctions. There are also 2 options for a bypass at Selmerston, up to 2.5 miles long. The A27 scheme is the first to be consulted on. The others will follow in the coming weeks.
We are looking at junction improvements in 4 locations and some cycleway improvements and a small bypass of one of the villages. We've got a range of options here. We haven't decided what we're going to go forward with yet. That's why we want the public to come and talk to us, and we want to hear their views.
It should be dual carriaged all the way to Lewes.
So you think this is not enough?
Not enough, yeah. You need to think future.
The M271 in Southampton is another area set to be improved.
In my opinion, there should, I know you've got dedicated bus lanes, I think there should be dedicated freight lanes for HGV vehicles.
I don't think there is an answer, you just have to grin and bear it. The work's going to have to be done. If they're going to spend money on the roads, then that's great.
There is congestion on this end before you get into Southampton, and of course when you go off the M25.
For those who use our roads, the frustration goes on. For the planners, solving the congestion problem is a never-ending challenge.
Mike Pearce reporting. Now, the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh were in Dorset today. They travelled with Prince Charles and the Duchess of Cornwall to Poundbury, just outside Dorchester. The Prince of Wales has helped design the experimental new town, and the Queen unveiled a statue of the Queen Mother in the village square. Karen Bell was there.
The familiar maroon of the royal train as it pulled into Dorchester South Station this morning. On board the royal family's 4 most senior members on a rare family day out together. They were serenaded by several hundred people and the Durnavania Silver Band.
Well, I must admit, for a couple of bars, I did drop my cornet and turn and wave to the Duchess of Cornwall.
It's brilliant, yes. Dorset is a wonderful place anyway, she's lucky.
I shook my flag
I think
off.
you've broken your flag completely, you were waving it so much.
No, it's splendid, marvellous. It's a few years since she has been here, although of course Prince Charles comes quite regularly because the Poundbury project is rather special to him, I think.
Ah yes, Poundbury, the development on the outskirts of Dorchester that Prince Charles has spent the past 25 years helping to design. This is his vision of perfect urban planning. Virtually everything here is neoclassical, even the fire station, and there's none of that modern architecture that he dislikes. Poundbury is home to 3,000 people. Prince Charles is a regular visitor, but 2 people who don't come very often are Prince Charles's parents. Today they had a look round the new Queen Mother Square right in the centre and unveiled a large bronze statue of her. Prince Charles was particularly close to his grandmother. No wonder then that he's put her statue here, and no wonder that he's named all the nearby buildings after her favourite racehorses. Karen Bell, ITV News, Poundbury.
Well, finally, a teenager from Hampshire is urging young people to support this year's Poppy Appeal. Casey Watson first started selling poppies in Winchester when she was just 4 years old. She's supporting the Royal British Legion campaign, which this year aims to sell 45 million poppies nationwide, helping veterans old and new.
Schools have a big part to play in the awareness that young people have. However, I feel that young people don't get involved as much as they could, and I feel that it's not just awareness, but it's getting involved that would really make the difference this year.
We have an army of 150,000 poppy distributors out there to help us reach that target of 45 million poppies. And we're confident we'll reach it with the support of the British public, yeah.
Well, let's have a look at the weather forecast now. Here's Simon.
From sleet to the slopes, driving through Europe. Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Good evening, and in true Sesame Street style, the weather over the next few days brought to us by the letter S, in that it will be settled but samey. So tomorrow morning will be another murky start for some of us. The general plan, though, is a dry and fine day. And yes, there will be some bits of brightness as the day goes on. And that's the plan as we head into the weekend, with that high pressure just wobbling around to the south of the country. Does mean we're picking up the mild air from the southwest, and that means temperatures by day could get up to 15, 16 degrees, which, considering we're nearly in November, is pretty good going. Mind you, overnight tonight, it's not bad either. Mostly up into double figures, perhaps 8 or 9 in some rural spots. Fair bit of cloud, and there will be some clear spells, and that's where again we've got the mist and fog. Not as widespread or dense as last night, so hopefully not quite so problematic tomorrow morning. But not a cold start to Friday, and then a pretty decent day. Once that mist eventually lifts into low cloud, the cloud's going to break up, and come the afternoon we'll see some bright spells here and there. Still a fair bit of cloud around. Temperatures though not bad in the light winds, 5-10 miles an hour. We're looking at highs of around 14, maybe 15 degrees.
Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
That's it for now. Do stay with us for political debate in The Last Word, and we're back with Good Morning Britain from 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. But from the late team, have a very good night. Bye-bye.